makes you stronger. Stand a little taller.
Welcome back, Ventura County. You are listening live to Girls on the Air. We are Real Women in Real Estate, AM 1590, KVTA. I'm Tracy Baldwin.
And I'm Karen Campbell. And we're real excited to have Liz Kelly with us. She is with Goody PR. She is the founder of Goody PR. And she has written a book called 8 Seconds PR. So welcome, Kelly, or welcome, Liz. How are you?
Hi.
I'm great.
Are you
Thank
there?
you for having me.
Oh, good. Welcome. We're so glad to have you today and to promote your book online and on our Facebook page, and we're giving a copy of it away. So tell us how you started writing books and how long you've been in PR.
Absolutely. Well, I started doing PR after I wrote a dating book. Which I
a
did.
dating book.
Yeah, and it was called Smart Man Hunting. So it was kind of like make your maid hunt like a job hunt. And we had so much fun with that. And we ended up getting over 500 media interviews. So we thought, wow, we don't need to do this for ourselves anymore. Let's do this for other people. So we started Goody PR about 10 years ago. And we just try to magnify good and bring out great stories about people. And that's what the book is about, the current book, 8 Second PR, which we wrote as kind of a do-it-yourself PR guide, because people would call us and they would say, well, we can't afford you. So I'd say, okay, $14.95, you can buy this book, and it gives all our secrets and all our stories.
So what's the secret to the 8 seconds?
Well, great question. The 8 seconds came from the fact that the average attention span of an adult is actually 8 seconds.
Oh my gosh.
So you have to.
That's not surprising, right?
A lot of people don't know that. So what I say is you've got to be clear, concise, and compelling, and get to the point immediately, which is really, really hard.
Interesting. So what's the secret for getting on TV or radio or in print story interviews?
Oh, I can probably tell you.
She used to be a breaking news broadcaster.
But I
Liz.
probably make it appeal to, obviously, any of your audience. It has to matter, right? But it doesn't hurt to have animals, old people, and babies, right?
Yes.
Because
yes.
people love that.
No, I heard the previous interview about the dog.
Yeah.
Yes.
And absolutely. If you can make an emotional connection and make it timely and speak from the heart, I would think those would be the top 3 things.
Right.
Right. So what do you write? What do you write for that 8 seconds? Like I know you have to have a story, but you have to really be concise and really break those words down so that you get the message in that first 8 or 9 words, 10 words.
Liz, we used to always, do who, what, why, where, how. You know what I mean? What happened, where, why, how, how did it affect? So I know when we did a news story, news stories are just about 1:30, a whole news story. So you have to get it out there, be concise, be relevant, and it has to matter to people.
Exactly. You're both right. Those are so many great points. And I think, the who, what, why, where, all that, I have a whole section on that in the book. And because that is really what the reporter is looking for. But the first challenge is just getting the email open.
Right.
It's so hard to get people to even open the email because the reporters are getting bombarded every day with hundreds of pitches. So what I do is I give you tips. I think it's good to put in the subject line things like how or why instead of just, people don't want to just do a story about what I call the shiny object.
Right.
They don't want to just talk about your product or your service. They want to talk about why it matters today. Right. So, for example, it's Easter weekend. You could be writing a story tied to something with Easter and say, why, or spring. Let's use spring. Why you should get out and spring forward with your business. Something like that if you're a business coach. So you tie business coaching to the spring forward.
Right.
Very interesting, yeah.
So what about when you're doing a podcast? Like people are just starting to do podcasts and what should they talk about in their podcast?
Podcasts are incredibly important right now. We just started a podcast called 8 Second Branding to go with the book, 8 Second PR. And I think the thing with podcasts is that you have more time. That's usually a plus. So you don't have to get to the point in 8 seconds, but you also want to focus on tips. It's really important that you give helpful advice tips. It's not about you talking about your story. It's about you helping the audience.
Absolutely.
That's wonderful.
And, given we're in real estate, that's even more important because we need to help them. It's all about them. It's not about us.
So many realtors go out and they just start bragging about what they've done, and that just turns people off. I think what they care about is what are we going to do for you and why you use us, what we can do. We're going to sell your house. We're going to do this. Not we've sold every house in town and we have the best reputation. I mean, they don't care, and they can see right through that, don't you think?
Exactly. That's a really good point because I also have a whole chapter in the book about social media marketing. That's chapter 2. And I was thinking about this. You want to post things about your successes, but you don't want to post them like you're bragging. For example, I always post so grateful for story. So I'm showing gratitude. And then I'm also highlighting my clients. It's not all about me. So another tip would be, post things about people whose lives you've impacted or you've made better, and not necessarily, hey, here's everything I did.
Exactly. Well, Liz, tell everybody where they can find you. We are giving away one of your books, and so everybody give us a call, 650-1590. We are giving away one of her books. It's 8 Second PR. And Liz, tell everybody where they can find you.
Absolutely. Well, you can go to 8secondpr.com or our PR agency website, Goody PR, Goody with a Y, PR.com. And I want to make sure that I emphasize a story because everybody connects through story. And we had a realtor in the Bay Area as a client, and her name was Debbie DiMaggio, and she was selling like crazy. She was doing great, but she wasn't telling her story with any kind of emotion. So what we do with our clients is we try to dig deep. We ask them a lot of questions, and we discovered that not only was she a top 1% realtor, but she also was giving VIP customer service. And we came up with that because we were looking at the numbers, and she was describing to me what she does with clients. And what she said was, if a client needs to go to the Salvation Army and drop off things, we do it for them. I was like, I don't know a realtor that does that. Maybe you all know.
Or help with garage sales or estate sales. And
right. Right. Or if they need to do renovations or paint their house, she has a whole Rolodex of all the people that will do that with trusted vendors who will do that. But then the other thing where we really took it to another level is that Debbie actually has 5 charities that she supports. And she wants to, her role model rather is Lady Diana.
Oh, nice.
So, and she loves fashion, like Lady Diana loves fashion. So we ended up doing this whole Make-A-Wish type campaign where Debbie sponsored a birthday party celebration for a woman who had a chronic illness, and also it supported a charity. And we got ABC News out in San Francisco to come out and cover the birthday party. We got the fire department to come and sing happy birthday to the girls.
Oh,
so we had, all these pictures of her in a wheelchair with the fire department next to the fire truck.
That's
great.
I
mean, it just made your heart move, and that's really what you want to do with your PR.
Absolutely. Well, thank you for being on the show today, Liz. We appreciate you, and we look forward to reading your book.